TGIF, everybody. TGIF. You know, Wednesday night when I was out working with my brother-in-law in the Bayshore area of San Francisco, and later on after that, Richmond. It was during this time, and while we were working, not coming home, but while we were working, that the WWE decided to make a live groundbreaking announcement, to the world. And of course, that groundbreaking announcement was the WWE Network. But the way they did this, and Jeff Siegel, I watched a little bit of his nearly 1 hour, that's right, nearly 1 hour complete analysis on the, his complete analyzation of it. I listened to what Jeff had to say, and he is right about one thing. The way the WWE kind of built this up was very well done. I mean, everybody constantly complains about WWE always shoving the WWE app in our face, saying, "Oh, download the WWE app and get this and get that and get this and get that." And yet we never wondered why they were doing it. And yet we never knew why they were giving it to us for free. And yet now we know why. Because they wanted to basically, as Jeff Siegel put it at OTRS Central, as he put it in his video, they were laying the foundation, they were laying the groundwork for what the WWE app, or WWE Network would be about. You see, the thing about the WWE Network that makes it different in many ways and is basically right now having everyone from CNN basically. Let me look it up. Let me go to it if I can find it here. Has everybody. I'm trying to find. Has everybody, and I'm looking at Google right now. I'm looking at Google.com right now. Has everybody from The Verge, IGN, CNN Money, Google Plus. That's right, plus.google.com. Engadget. IGN Video. Variety. The CES, Bleach Report, Hollywood Reporter, Twitter. Well, of course, Twitter's on there anyway. ComingSoon.net, Philly.com, Geek.com. And the list could go on and on of people talking about the WWE Network coming next month. And you could see in the picture the exact day when it's going to launch. Now, basically, according to what Jeff Siegel said, you'll be able to subscribe to this on the WWE website or network website for $9.99 a month, basically $10 a month. You'll be able to enjoy the content the WWE Network is going to give you. Now, like I said in my on-camera review, or my on-camera thoughts about it, like I said yesterday, I basically look at it as this looks like Jeff said in his video and I said in my video, basically, it's a positive for them because if you're a wrestling fan, you'll be able to get a variety of content amongst the likes you have never seen. You have never seen as much content as you might get with this. And with the WWE library and the vast libraries of other promotions that have come and gone at their disposal, who knows what you're going to get? Now, the one concern that I mentioned in my video, and I'm sure Jeff's going to mention it in his, the one thing that I'm pretty sure a lot of people are concerned about is the online situation. You see, WWE, the WWE Network is not, I repeat, not going to be a cable network. It's not going to be some on-demand service on cable. No. It's actually going to be an online, on-demand, 24/7, 365-day network that you can view on your mobile devices, whether it's your Androids, your Samsungs, your Kindles, your tablets, your Nextbook tablets, your iPads, your iPads Airs, your Surfaces, your Windows Surface, if you will. Your smartphones, your iPhones, your iPod Touches, the iPod Touches that are more recent, if you will. Your iPod Touches, as well as if you have gaming devices on your Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and with Xbox One and probably other devices getting it later this year. Basically summer, fall of this year. Now, the positive from a price range, like I said in my video and Jeff mentions it here, is it's only $10, like I said. $10 a month with a 6-month commitment plan. So basically for nearly $60 a month. Well, not a month, but for basically $10 a month, which equals out to about $60 for the 6 months that you're going to be committed to them, or committed to subscribe. You're going to be committed and subscribe to this. For $60, you're going to get so much content, like I mentioned, that you're going to be flabbergasted. You won't know what to do. For example, the content, like I said, doesn't just stream or come from the WWE library itself. It comes from all the various promotional libraries that they have acquired over the years. Why do you think they were so hard up on getting the original UWF library? Why do you think they were so hard up on getting that? Why do you think they were so hard up on getting the libraries of world-class championship wrestling? The AWA, ECW, WCW, Georgia Championship Wrestling. Why do you think they were so hard up on it? Why do you think they're so hard up on getting even the smallest of promotional libraries from the past? Because they had something planned, and what they had planned was this. They know, whether you like some of the decisions WWE makes or not, someone there knows that the wrestling fans, the wrestling purists, used to like the wrestling they saw back in the 80s, back in the 90s, back in the 2000s, early to mid 2000s, the 70s, if you will, the 60s. They loved that stuff, and they want to relive it. They want to rewatch it. Well, that's what you're going to get here, because a lot of this service is going to be live, and it's going to be on demand. For example, you're going to have pre and post shows before and after every pay-per-view. You're going to have pre and post shows after every Raw and SmackDown. In addition to that, you're going to finally be able to see WWE superstars anytime you want. Now, I know you're saying, well, wait a minute. We already see superstars courtesy of Hulu Plus. Yeah, but you'll get to see superstars on the day it airs, not the next day. The same with NXT. You'll be able to see it live. That's right, live the day it happens and not have to wait the next day. The same with Raw and SmackDown. Raw will not be edited by Hulu Plus. That will be a positive. It will be uncut. It'll be uncensored. You'll be able to be... Okay, here's the thing. Whether or not you're a fan of the 3-hour format for Raw, whether you're a fan of that or not, you'll be able to, and this is the truth, you'll be able to watch it uncut and uncensored on demand practically almost right after it goes off the air. That's what I'm assuming. Practically right after it goes off the air, you'll be able to watch it on demand, uncut, uncensored, so that way you don't miss a beat. Same with SmackDown. And then the biggest positive about this is the pay-per-views. That's right. For the 6-month commitment at $9.99, you and even myself, if I decide to do it, will be able to get all the pay-per-views for free as a part of the subscription. And it all starts with WrestleMania 30. That's right, the 30th anniversary of WrestleMania will be the first pay-per-view aired on as part of the WWE Network and its free subscription. The first one. And then later on, and then of course, you'll get the pay-per-views like Extreme Rules, SummerSlam, Money in the Bank, Survivor Series, TLC, Night of Champions, Battleground, whether you like that pay-per-view or not. You know, you'll be able to get all those pay-per-views, even the Royal Rumble. Even the Royal Rumble, you would hope. Because it is a 6-month commitment plan. So if you're going to be getting it at the end of February, you're looking at February, March as 1 month, April as 2, May as 3, June as 4, July as 5, and September as 6. So that's your 6-month plan right there, almost all the way to October. But whether the price changes or it doesn't, which I don't think it will, because if they're going to offer it at this price, they better damn well keep it. But the thing is, this is something that is a positive for any fan of the WWE pay-per-views. This way, you won't have to torrent the pay-per-views after they're done playing. You won't have to wait a few hours before someone uploads a torrent of it. You won't have to pay $45 to $55 to $65 or even $75 out of the wazoo to watch it on pay-per-view. Because you'll be able to have it for free as part of the $9.99 subscription to the WWE Network. Now, I know a lot of people are kind of concerned about that situation too. They're like, well, what if we don't want to watch the pay-per-views on the network? What if we still want to enjoy the value of the cable distribution? Well, according to what Vince McMahon said, it'll be stupid for cable providers to drop the pay-per-views because it's made money for them. So don't expect pay-per-views, the pay-per-view company, the cable companies, the satellite companies like DirecTV or Dish Network despite what some of them may say, do not expect any of them to drop the pay-per-view concept of the WWE pay-per-views anytime soon. Do not expect that. Because here's why. Here's why. They should know that not a lot of people are fans of streaming devices. Not a lot of fans are. Not a lot of people are fans of the Roku devices. Nobody's a fan of watching things on tablets and iPhones. Not a lot of people are fans of that. Even though it helps, not a lot of people are fans of it. And not a lot of people are in possession, believe it or not, are in possession of smartphones, iPhones, and so on. Nobody's in possession of that. No one's in possession. So they should know that because there are people out there. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I still have an iPod from the second generation, and it works. I know I should have been getting a new iPod or even an iPhone or even a tablet, but because financially I can't afford something like that yet, right now I'm sticking with my iPod Touch second generation edition because it still works. It still works. But again, like I said, don't expect the cable providers to drop the pay-per-view deal. Because like I said, they're going to pretty much know that there's going to be a lot of people out there still that, like I mentioned, are not going to have that kind of access to those devices, are not fans of certain devices, and honestly do not want to pay possibly an additional $10 on top of other bills that they may have. You know, they don't want to do that. So don't expect the cable providers to drop the pay-per-views. If anything, here's what I think is going to happen. I think there's going to be a balancing out. I think there's going to be a balancing out. It's going to balance to the point that WWE is still going to make money off the cable pay-per-view, the pay-per-views being shown on cable as well as the network. Because how else is WWE going to be able to get a profit share to add more content down the line? Think about it. Anyway, though, don't expect cable networks to drop the pay-per-views anytime soon. Don't expect DirecTV or Dish Network to do that. Pretty much all it is talk, and pretty much a lot of people have the butt hurt. A lot of the higher-ups at DirecTV and Dish Network are butthurt over the fact that now WWE has their own network, and now WWE is offering all this for just $10. Again, don't expect anyone, any cable provider. Don't expect any, don't expect any dish provider. Don't expect anybody to drop the pay-per-views just yet, or anytime soon. Don't expect it. But with that being said, a lot of what they talked about with WWE's network, and I mentioned this in my video yesterday, and Jeff, I'm sure, is going to mention it, has mentioned it, and will be going into more detail about it at OTRSCentral.com. At the OTRS Central YouTube page. But you're not just going to get all that content of, the free pay-per-views, the pre and post shows before and after the pay-per-views, the pre and post shows before the Raw, after the Raws and the SmackDowns, the superstars, the live NXT. You're not just going to get all that, but you're also going to get a lot of the program of the past, a lot of programs from the past. If you're a fan of, I'm pretty sure, World Class Championship Wrestling, there's no doubt you're going to get your share of World Class Championship Wrestling on demand. That's a good thing. Same with WCW. You a fan of WCW Monday Nitro? I'm pretty sure they're going to have probably every episode, or at least try to have every episode of Monday Nitro available for you on demand, and maybe even have it on a schedule. You know what I'm saying? Same with ECW. You a fan of ECW? There you go. Same thing. AWA, same thing. You know, you're a fan of that? There you go. You know, the classic championship wrestling from Florida? There you go. The GWF? There you go. Georgia Championship Wrestling? There you go. You'll be able to have all access to that kind of content because of this. And you'll be able to relive those days. You'll even get every pay-per-view, from what I understand, from ECW, WCW, AWA, WCCW, when they did theirs little pay-per-view. You'll be able to get all of that for free as well as for free and on demand as well as part of this network. And that's a good thing. That really is. That's a good thing in addition to all that. And in addition, like I said in my video and Jeff mentioned at the beginning of his, you get original content. You get the Monday Night War, which is basically a weekly version. It's going to be a weekly version of which I guess is going to be a weekly version inspired by the Monday Night War DVD. And you're going to get more interviews. You're going to get more people's insights. Like you're going to get Triple H's insight. You're going to get Shawn Michaels. You're going to get, maybe Hulk Hogan, The Rock. You're going to get all that. That's going to be pretty good on that Monday Night War series. WrestleMania Rewind. You'll be able to get you'll be able to see the match, I believe, as well as get behind-the-scenes stories on the match. Like how it came about, how this happened, how that happened. So basically you'll get stories from those that experienced it, from those that learned about it. It's going to be really interesting. Then you get WWE Legends House. You get WWE's Legends House. And this is going to comprise of a lot of legends. Names like Hillbilly Jim, Hacksaw, Roddy Piper, Pat Patterson, Mean Gene Okerlund, Jimmy Hart, and a few others will be part of this Legends House. They're all going to live together under one house. And from what Stephanie McMahon said, it's hilarious. It's entertaining. So that ought to be something to watch. And I'm sure, and of course you have the WWE Countdown series, which according to the advertisement, the sneak peek, is going to allow the fans like you and me, the WWE Universe, to vote on what we feel are the top 10 moments, top 10 finishers, top 10 matches, top 10 catchphrases. We'll have a say in that. As well as you're going to get a lot of the content that you're probably getting right now with Classics on Demand. You're going to get the Monday Night War kind of like comparison. Like you're going to have someone like Michael Cole or maybe Renee Young hosting the Monday Night War deal where you have, them showing, like an episode of Raw uncut. And then have her, when you look at it again, and then when you go to the WCW section, you have her hosting. You have basically within that same episode going into like a part 2 and saying, okay, here's the Nitro that happened that same night. So that ought to be really interesting. You're going to have the history of ECW, obviously. So that's going to be good. Legends of Wrestling. You're going to have, again, what you're getting on Classics on Demand right now. You're going to get all of that along with the original content and everything for $10. For basically $10 for basically $10 as part of this subscription and 6-month commitment. Now, I do understand, and I'm sure Jeff might touch on this in his video, and like I said, his video's 4 minutes short of an hour. 4 minutes short of an hour. And for those people that complain about me doing long videos, don't complain ever again. No offense, Jeff. No offense. But one thing I mentioned in my video, and I'm sure Jeff's going to mention in his, is the one thing I'm pretty sure a lot of fans are concerned about. And again, this harkens back to what I said earlier about some people not being fans of the streaming services and not even wanting to bother with them and rather stick with the cable and dish network pay-per-view cable and dish network pay-per-view distributions distributors, I should say, distributors. Um, the one thing some people might worry about, if not some, but maybe a lot, is the lag, is the internet signal. See, a lot of people worry about that. A lot of people worry about that. I'll give you an example. I have Netflix on several devices in my house. I have Netflix on my iPod. I have Netflix on my black Wii that I'm looking at right now here in the rec room. I have Netflix, I think, on the white Wii in the guest room. I have Netflix on my Xbox 360, and recently I have Netflix now on my Blu-ray player that I purchased last weekend. Now, the difference between a lot of them, the difference is the Netflix on my Xbox 360. My Xbox 360 is wired in. It has a internet wire, if you will. It's not Wi-Fi. The black Wii, the white Wii, and the Blu-ray, and even my iPod Touch are all Wi-Fi connected. And now the reason I say that is because recently, when we would try to watch, we would watch the shows and the movies on it, but anytime we would try to watch a movie or a show from the beginning on Netflix, on the Blu-ray player, it would go for a little bit, then it would stop. Sometimes it'd be okay, it would go right through, but sometimes it would stop and go back to the section of where the movie is and ask you to and basically have the resume playing highlighted so you can start the movie or the episode of the show back up. And that's all because it's trying to connect itself and strengthen itself and basically familiarize itself with the Wi-Fi signal. Now, the reason I mention that is because that's basically one of the things people are worried about with the WWE Network. They're worried that if they have Wi-Fi, maybe, let's say they have their Xbox 360 or the PS4 or the PS3 or even the Roku or even the Blu-ray player or whatever, the Roku, I should say, device connected to the Wi-Fi. The one thing they worry about, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that the signal could cut out. Even if the Wi-Fi signal is secure, they're worried that it's going to cut out. It's not going to, it's not going to do very well if the signal isn't strong enough. That's what they're worried about. That's the main objective that people are worried about. But if reports that the WWE is working with those that helped work on the online streaming issues with MLB.TV, Major League Baseball.TV, if it's true that they're working with them, and from the results that they have seen after these people have worked with MLB.TV, if after seeing the results of the improvements that were made there are any indication from what has been reported, then obviously we don't have nothing to worry about, because if these people have the reputation of being able to improve and fix the signal and make sure there's no lag, make sure there's no interruption, make sure there's no interference or whatever, if they have that kind of reputation because of what they did with MLB.TV, then we have nothing to worry about. But again, that is a concern. And that is also and that is also why it's understanding as to why some people may not want to hurry up and get the WWE Network subscription and rather stick to the regular pay-per-views and maybe just stick to possibly watching Hulu Plus and watching the WWE content on there if it's still going to be there, or just watching the Monday Night Wars or whatever. They'd rather stick to that. And again, I can understand that. I can really understand that, and I'm sure anybody else could understand that. But again, like I said, if it's reported that they're working, if WWE is working side by side with the same people that help solve the lag and streaming issues, the lagging issues and the streaming issues fell for the MLB.TV, then I'm pretty sure we have nothing to worry about. But again, I can understand that that's a concern and that is an objective that fans want to see be solved and worked on and up and ready to go before the launch is officially done. Now, speaking of the launch, of course, the launch is supposed to happen around 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock on the 24th of February. And basically, I think the day before or the evening before or something like that, you're going to be able to go on to WWE.com and subscribe. You'll be able to place your subscription onto WWE.com for the network, so that you will be up and ready for when it goes live. And I know I will be. I hope to be, I should say. The only concern that I think Jeff pointed out is whether or not they'll be able to take certain cards. Like, yeah, they'll be able to take credit and debit, and they're going to take PayPal as well. But I think the concern is, well, what if you don't have enough? The concern is, well, what about prepaid cards? Will they take those? You know, like the prepaid Visas and MasterCards they sell at stores like Walmart and Save Mart and Target. Will they be able to take those? You could hope. But I think it's going to be more required that you use your debit or credit card, because what you're looking at is a reoccurring billing for that 6-month commitment that you're going to be on. So overall, though, there's a lot of positiveness coming out of this announcement, and a lot of positiveness centered around the WWE Network. Again, I know there are some negatives that people look at, like the negative being, what is the stream going to be like? Is there going to be a lag? You know, how bad is the lag going to be? You know, will it be this? Will we? I'm sure. Again, I know there are some negatives that people look at with the WWE, like, okay, is it going to do this? Is it going to do that? Blah blah blah. Is this going to be a negative? Is that going to be a negative? And again, right now, the positives outweigh the negatives when it comes to this network. So, overall, I say come February 23rd and come February 24th, I say we give this a chance. I say we give it a chance, and if some of us cannot afford to get to it just yet, subscribe to it just yet, then I say come the 1st and the 3rd of March, let's give it a chance. So between February 24th and maybe even later on, like say March 1st and 3rd, let's give the WWE Network a chance and see where it goes from there. Because honestly, I for one would not mind sitting back, relaxing, and feeling nostalgic enough to go back and watch Monday Nitro. Because honestly, I'll tell you this, from 1995 to 2001, Nitro was my primary Monday Night Wrestling destination, because for about 5 years, for almost 5 years, Oskaloosa, Kansas, the cable provider we had there, never had USA Network. Never did. So I ended up sticking with TNT and TBS. That's who I had. And those were my wrestling destinations. Even after I moved out on my own, they were still my wrestling destinations, although I would go back and forth between SmackDown and Thunder, or just whatever, and Raw and Nitro. I would go back and forth, but still, they were my destinations. They were. And even when Nitro would get encored afterwards, they were my destination. So I wouldn't mind going back and reliving those days. Anyway, though, like I said, you know, the positives right now really outweigh any negatives that they might have or people might see with this or could be concerned about. They do outweigh them. So that's all I'm going to say in this audio edition of my audio edition of my thoughts on the WWE Network. And let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like, and I will talk to y'all later. God bless. Take care. But I say, let's give it a chance.